In this video, we're going to talk about filters, and we're mainly going to focus on the deals page. Little reminder, deals in Pipedrive equals orders in Selectus. So always just kind of remember that. You may want to go to this page because Pipedrive makes it easy to be able to see all the information on the certain orders that you want to see kind of at a glance, and you're able to edit them very quickly. Now, while you could get the same information in Selectus, it just takes longer to get to it. The report, you have to pull multiple reports, and it just takes longer, and it's not very, it doesn't look very good, and it's not easy to look at. But Pipedrive makes it easy. The only thing you got to remember is Pipedrive is not going to be as accurate as Selectus. Pipedrive, there's multiple variables that can kind of throw Pipedrive off a little bit, so I would probably say that Pipedrive is about 95, 98% accurate, but Selectus will always be 100% accurate. So if you're needing to get a report, a very accurate report for a customer, use Selectus. But if you just need to learn about a customer and see where they're at and look at them with a bird's eye view and just kind of understand them quickly, Pipedrive is definitely the way to go. So the first filter that we're going to look at is we're going to look at all orders by company and date. So if you're about to go into a company and you're going to start to talk to them, you're going to want to check out the last month, maybe the last 3 months of activity. How much did they give us? What did we lose? Vehicle types. And this filter can show you all that information very, very quickly. So let's just go ahead and build it. At the top here, we click on our filter button and we go to our filters tab and we click add new filter. The first thing is I'm going to want to choose my organization. So I'm going to say the deal organization. This is the organization that is attached to the deal. So the deal organization is, and let's just say Serigraph. Let's go Lang Street. And then we're going to want to choose a date range. So let's choose deal, and then date range of the shipment. So the ship date is always going to be deal closed on. Just remember that. Deal closed on equals the shipment date. And we're going to do a date range. So you always want to change is when you're going to do a date range. So I'm going to do is exactly or later than. That means we're setting the beginning date range. And I'm going to click exact time because I'm going to want to go back to an exact time. What I could do is click relative time, and I'm going to say I just want to look at the last 3 months. I'll say 3 months ago. But if I wanted to do exact time, click it, and let's just go 3 months back, 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to do an end date range. I'm going to click add condition, deal closed on, is exactly or earlier than. We'll do relative time, and we will say today. The last part is you need to do the match any of these conditions. Okay, in Pipedrive, order statuses are called, it's called the pipeline. Every complete, quoted, quote order, canceled, dry run, all of that, that's called the pipeline. So what we're going to do is we're going to say we want to see all the completed, all the quotes, all the turn downs, all those things. We're going to go deal, pipeline is completed. Now I'm going to show you a little trick here. Instead of doing is completed, is quotes, is dry run, all of these, there's 3 more here that we just basically don't want to see. So what I'm going to do is instead of putting 6 conditions in, I'm only going to put 3. I'm going to say is not new account. Add condition, pipeline is not revived account. Add condition, pipeline is not new contact. The only reason why these are in here is because if in the future we want to use Pipedrive to track our goals just like we do on the whiteboard, Pipedrive can do it and it's all set. Just depends on if we want to start doing that. Last thing we're going to do is just name it. It's going to be orders by company and date, and save. Now we should be able to see all the orders here that were called in by Serigraph on Lang Street in the past 3 months. And here they all are. If you wanted to see the ones with pronotes, the ones that had a lot of pronotes, maybe they had some issues, what are the main vehicle types that they're using, and so on and so forth. The next filter we're going to focus on are orders by contact and date. This might be helpful if you have a company that you're going to who has multiple people who are calling in orders, and you want to just focus on that one person, who it might be. One way to do it would just be in the company one, just click contact person and sort it, and you can see all their orders in that. You can see all their orders in order, but it kind of throws off your numbers up here. The number in the middle is the actual number that we made. There's 42 deals. If we just want to make it focus, if we just want to focus on just one person, we're going to change this filter. Now, to make this simple, let's just copy this because we want most of the same filters. Like right here, we want most of this, except we want this to say deal person is in the name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the Save as New button, which is kind of a copy button. And now I can edit this one. First, I'm going to do contact here as the name, and I'm going to say deal contact person is, and we'll, since she's there, Sandy Starr. And I get to choose her out of the list and click Save. Now I can see just the orders that Sandy Starr called in and ask her about the ones that I want to ask about, and not have to worry about what everybody else is doing. The next filter we'll talk about will be orders by salesperson and date. Let's say you're just curious about how your month is going. I want to look at all my orders over the past month. We're going to do the same thing by where we edit. We want most of the same filters here, except we want this to be deal owner is, and then we'll choose the account executive. We would never choose a customer care person because they don't own any of these accounts. The ownership really falls under the account executive. So we're going to use the Save as New button right here, which is our copy button. And we're going to change the name to Orders by Salesperson. Oops. Date. And we'll say Deal Owner is, and we'll choose Greg here. Let's say I want to go back a month. I chose relative time, and let's say, what was it, 1 month ago. So the last month to today, I can click Save, and now I see all of the orders in the past about 30 days or so. And we can take a look at the value. Maybe we want to see what are the big ones that we got out of people. What were there any issues? By clicking Pro Notes, 24 Pro Notes, 22 Pro Notes, there could be issues in these to take a look. And now you're just able to do it by salesperson, kind of in a general overview about how things are going. The next filter that we're going to create will be for you to check the dummy territory. So what are the orders that have come through that there's no salesperson attached, and at the moment they're owned by Young Express, but they should be owned by you because you had reached out to them. Let's go ahead and start building this filter. So I'm just going to edit this one again because it's just the fastest way to do it. I'm going to keep all of this so I can see all of the orders, but what I'm going to do is do 1 week ago because I want to make it a little bit shorter. Maybe I'll check the dummy territory every week. We're going to say the owner is Young Express Dispatch because when they're created, the default owner will be Young Express Dispatch. Then lastly, we would want to put organization status is not Young Express account. So we're going to look at all of the orders where the organization is kind of up for grabs. So we don't know whose it is, and you can check it this way. So I'm going to go ahead and click Save. Oh, actually I'm going to change the filter name to Check Dummy Territory. And click Save. We have 11 deals here in the past week that don't have ownership. Now most of these look like they're probably carriers, and they just don't have the designation of a Young Express account yet, but just in case, you don't want to really miss it if somebody has ordered something from us and we didn't know about it. Okay, another filter that might be really helpful is to basically check weekly. We'll call it last week's orders. Every Monday, you might want to just take a look at all the past orders and see if anything fell through the cracks or if somebody called in something that you didn't know about. It might just be a good one to just quick check and see if anything happened. Maybe check the pro notes if there's a lot of them. You might want to see if there's any issues that happened. So to check last week's orders, I'm going to go to, let's choose orders by salesperson and date, and we can edit this one. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, we'll just keep it as Greg. You just put your name in here. Owner is Greg. We have a date range here. I'm just going to do 1 week ago. Or I'm sorry, it's actually last week. Last week. So it's going to start in the beginning of the week from last week to today. And we're going to keep all of the match any conditions here. We're just going to name this last week's orders. And we'll be able to go ahead and click save. Now every Monday you can jump into this, take a look and see what happened last week at a glance. And maybe you want to check your pro notes. If there's something wrong, this one had 22, that might be an issue. Take a look at your value, make sure that some big ones came through, you might want to talk to them. So this is just a good filter to have, just to kind of quickly check to make sure that nothing fell through the cracks. Now the last one that we're going to do is we're going to do a custom filter. The custom filter is one you're going to want to create, because if you start to get into using filters a lot, you're going to end up having a ton of them here. And really you only want to save them if it's something you're going to go back to regularly. So just for best practices, it's good to create a custom filter. So we're just going to add a new filter, click custom, or type in custom filter. And then we're going to add some conditions here. Let's just say we want to see all the deals that were done 2 months ago. So let's find the date range. Where's it? Deal closed on is exactly or later than. We'll do exact time. We want to see what our month was like last month. So we'll do June 1, and then we'll do deal closed on. We're going to choose our ending date. Deal closed on is exactly or earlier than exact time. We'll say the 30th last month. And then we'll just choose, you want to put an ownership in here always, otherwise you're going to see everybody's orders. So let's find the owner is, and let's just choose Diana here. And we'll click save. And now you're able to see the information that you want to see. And anytime you ever want to change your filters, and you're probably not going to use it that often, go ahead and just edit it. Like let's say we want to see if anybody ordered tractors recently. Let's leave in this date range. We're going to do relative time and say today, so in the last 2 months, and close out of this, we'll say deal that the vehicle type, where is that? All the way at the bottom. Vehicle type is a tractor. Let's see if we got any tractors. Well, it says 186 deals. I'm not really sure how many were actually completed. There's actually a number of them here that were completed for tractors. So it's just to see how many, if any of those are your customers, you could say, you can change this, add the owner, deal owner is, and let's choose Mike Sanders, click save. And he had this a number of different deals here that actually went through, a lot that we missed. So maybe we want to see like, why didn't we get those? So the custom filter will be helpful to just kind of keep your Pipedrive nice and clean.